What exactly comes to your mind when you hear the term identity theft? Now, for those who do not know, this involves stealing people's names, credit card, any identifying document without the owner's permission to commit crimes or fraudulent activities. Now, something that is not really discussed or is not quite popular within the society is identity theft that affects healthcare workers. And this brings us to the story of the imposter nurse. In 2016, there was this story flying around about a particular Ashley N. Johnson who was arrested based on grounds of aggravated identity theft and also providing false information. This person in question, guess what she did? She stole the license numbers of two different registered nurses, and decided to use their licenses to go and apply for jobs at various facilities. Now, one thing to be noted here is that the two identities that this nurse stole both bear the name Ashley Johnson, which made it very easy for her to use these identities to commit this crime. Now, having applied for jobs with several facilities, she ended up gaining employment with a nursing home named Clevita Lake Health Campus Nursing Home, and she worked here for a little while before she was spotted out. Now, the story says that not long after she got employed with this home, she made a medication error. Basically, this nurse gained employment April of 2016, got arrested May 2016, and this story has been going round since then. Now, it is said that it was after she made this medication error that the employer spotted her out, but nothing was detected. April 25, they had an updated background check, because I think from time to time they try to update their checks of people's backgrounds just to make sure that you are still licensed to practice as a nurse. So they did this update service, and that was when it was detected that this Ashley Johnson is not a registered nurse. Now guys, on this said day that they spotted out the fact that this lady was actually a fake, she was not on site on that day, she was not supposed to be working. So immediately they spotted it out, all they could do was to make an online complaint to the Indiana Attorney General office. So I know that this case is quite different from what I usually come here to discuss every Wednesdays, because I normally talk about nurses that got struck off in the UK by the NMC, but it's also good that we make ourselves aware of cases like this that happen, because it's quite common with healthcare professionals, because I have seen a lot of stories, and if you go online as well, you would read a lot of stories of healthcare workers who had their identity stolen. So instead of coming here to talk about a nurse that got struck off, which we will still continue on episodes to come, I've decided to bring this one here on this series because it's somehow related, although not in the UK. So these people raised a complaint to the Indiana General Attorney's office, and after that they went ahead to suspend this lady. Then she was now terminated of her employment after some time. Now, within the state at the time, it was quite worrisome, because this was the second time that this was happening within 6 months. 6 months, guys. That happened 2 times. There was another case of a lady named Holly White, if I pronounce that right, who also stole the identity of another nurse that had the same name. So I think what happens here is that when these people want to steal identities, they steal the identity of someone that shares probably the same first and last name with them, or sometimes it could be just the last name, or it could be just the first name. So guys, this is something that we need to be very, very aware of. And I think at the time she was facing a sentence of about 5 years. Guys, before I continue, let me just ask you in the comment section, do you think 5 years is enough for this type of offense? Because honestly, you steal someone's identity, they don't know about it, and you go ahead using this person's identity to cause a lot of problems, to commit fraudulent activities. Now, this lady, the way she was spotted out, aside from the updates that was done, where they started putting eyes on her, was when she made a medication error. So that medication error, they didn't say if, how badly it affected the patient. They only stated that she made a medication error. Who knows how far the medication error went, or who knows how far it could have gone. And at the end of the day, the whole problems will fall on the head of originally owns that license, because whatever complaints that they would raise, they will raise it towards the license of the original owner. So let me know in the comment section if you think that the penalty which she was, I don't know what the case case ended up being, because it wasn't stated in the story, but they said that she was looking at a charge of about 5 years. So I don't know if she ended up going for that 5 years or if it ended up being more, or I don't know what the story is. But if there's anyone that knows about this particular story and knows the outcome of it, let us know as well in the comment section, guys. Let me know what you think about this identity theft in the comment section. Let me know if it has happened to you at any point. So basically, I haven't been a victim of identity theft, but I've had my documents stolen. And when I say my documents stolen, I mean currently I do not have my BRP because it was stolen. My wallet was stolen alongside my BRP was in there. My nursing license from Nigeria was in there. Lots of other things. My bank cards were there and all. So the first thing you want to do when you notice that your identity has been stolen. Now, I know that some people go online, especially when it comes to we healthcare professionals. As nurses in the UK, for instance, if you know my PIN, you can easily go online and check for my name. If you know my first name and my surname, I think you can easily go online and actually check if I'm a nurse in the UK. So it's like some of these informations, personal informations, are out there for people to actually see. And I think in as much as it has an advantage because you can easily fish out someone when something is wrong, I feel like it also has like a disadvantage as well, because it gives these fraudsters the opportunity to actually steal or snoop into your personal information and do that evil thing that they want to do. So yes, I think it's something that needs to be looked into. Like there has to be more security placed on this thing. I don't know if there are cases that have happened in the UK. I would actually confirm, and if I see those cases, I'll also come and share them with you on here. But the whole point of bringing this to you is to let you know about this thing and let you know that this is actually happening and you need to be very careful. You need to take appropriate actions immediately you lose any important document of yours. There are two questions that I really want to ask. First things first, how did this lady even work on the first day of her shift? How did she cope? Because honestly, it's going to be very difficult for you to pose as a nurse. Now, if you're posing as a healthcare assistant or something else, you might be able to get away with it. But how do you really pose as a nurse? Because there are some lingos that we use in nursing that someone who is not a nurse will not even know. But there might be good actors and actresses, or someone might have actually had like a nurse grow up in their family. So that's a possibility. And so you're used to some of these terms. It could be that your mother was a nurse, or your father or someone from your extended family was a nurse. So it's easier for those people to actually steal identities and actually flow. There are other cases of nurses that even worked for years. This one I think worked for like a month or so, or a little bit less than a month before she was spotted out. But there are stories. I saw a story of a nurse that has worked for like years in the hospital before she was spotted out. So these things are actually happening. You have these people, you know, amongst yourself, and you don't even know they're your colleagues now turned friends, and you don't even know that they are not real nurses or they stole people's identity and that's what they're using. The second thing I want to ask is, when they are doing background checks and you're looking up someone online, do they not have like passport photographs attached to their profiles? Because I think it's supposed to be so. But if not, there's a possibility as well that their ID photographs are not there. But I think it's something that should be looked into as well, because if at all they did background checks and they checked probably her profile online and they had like an ID, passport or photograph up there, it would have been easy to spot out that this person looks different from the other person. Because yes, they might have the same names, but I'm sure they did not look alike in any way. I'm sure they didn't look alike in any way, but I mean, this thing happened and only God knows how many people she has done the same thing to, and the other cases that are out there as well. So guys, what I've learned from this is just stay very careful. When I lost my BRP, the first thing I did that same day was to report it online. And when you report your BRP loss, BRP is biometric residence permit. When you report it online, what they do is they deactivate your card, or rather still, they terminate your card. They terminate your identity so that nobody can use it for any other thing. So whoever is holding my BRP, even if you're watching this video, you are wondering why my BRP has been useless to you, it's because it's been deactivated right from the time you stole it. You know, these are things, measures that you have to take within yourself. Even my work ID at the time was in there. I had to report it immediately to the security at work, and I told them that I lost my ID, I needed a new one. So whatever they did with the former one. So if someone is trying to use my identity outside, they will be able to fish out that person, because those things are not even valid anymore. So you can't even use them. Same thing with my bank cards. I immediately went to freeze the account, so you can't even use any of my details. So let's just do what we can. I know that there are other ways that these fraudsters go. They go a very huge length to try to use your identity cards or IDs one way or the other. They try to get this information one way or the other. I mean, with the technology, there are so many advantages and also so many disadvantages, because people go online there and most of the information are there. They can get whatever information that they need to dupe or scam you one way or the other. So let's just stay careful, and once you detect anything like this, or you detect someone who does this type of thing, please make sure you report report to the nearest police station close to you or the nearest authority as well, so that prompt actions can be taken. And I hope that you have learned something from this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please press that subscribe button now and press the notification bell so that when I bring similar content like this, you'll be the first to know. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care.